Martin Scorsese's The Departed is a Boston-set crime drama, a gripping thriller about loyalty, betrayal, and identity, revolving around two men living double lives on opposite sides of the law. The film follows Billy Costigan, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, an undercover cop tasked with infiltrating a powerful Irish-American crime syndicate led by Frank Costello, played by Jack Nicholson. At the same time, Colin Sullivan, Matt Damon, a criminal groomed by Costello from a young age, works as a mole inside the Massachusetts State Police, feeding information back to Costello. As both sides begin to suspect they have a rat in their midst, Costigan and Sullivan find themselves racing to uncover each other's identities while trying to protect their own. The tension builds as their parallel lives spiral out of control, culminating in a series of shocking twists. You know, this might come as a surprise to subscribers of this channel, given I talk so much about gangster movies and that Martin Scorsese is my favourite director. But I have to be honest, I'm not actually the biggest fan of The Departed. I found it off-putting in many ways, and stacking it up against the rest of Scorsese's filmography, it's somewhere quite low down for me, and it's pretty alarming that this was Scorsese's only Oscar win. Maybe my thoughts on the movie is something we can discuss in another video, but today I wanted to do a little commentary on a particular scene in the movie that I really enjoyed. It was an example of where the abrasive, kinetic energy and pace of the movie, which kind of threw me in many ways initially, was at one of its best in the film, and it's the chase between DiCaprio and Damon after Colin meets with Frank in the theatre. At this point in the film, Billy is convinced that Frank must have a mole in the police department and tails Frank to the theatre, where he clearly sees that Frank is talking to a shady looking individual, and after the meeting, he follows him. The way I'm going to edit this video is I'm going to mention something that the movie does and then I'm going to show it without talking. It might come off as a little clunky, but this way, if the video gets flagged with a copyright hit, as many of my videos do, I will be able to cut out the video segments and the video won't get taken down then, it'll come back up, and also it won't jumble the commentary. I really enjoyed this sequence in the movie. It feels like no second is wasted. Every inch of creative juice the filmmakers had was squeezed out in order to make an otherwise ordinary tailing scene as exciting as possible. It's so tight. No waste, no filler, no excess. One of the most striking things about this scene are the colours. Vibrant, in your face, ever-changing, heavy reds and blues. Combine that with the smoke emitting and you'd think you might have wandered onto a contemporary set Blade Runner movie. The Departed is of course a remake of the Hong Kong film Infernal Affairs, and it does feel like this scene in particular, the style and the Asian characters in the background, is a homage to that. I love how the music swells to Matt Damon turning his head slightly before DiCaprio's vision is obstructed. We continue a few seconds and it's really quite abrasive. The camera won't keep still. People are constantly getting in the way. And then a few seconds later there's a sudden halt in the action, a little jolt, as DiCaprio is almost hit by a car. It's like the movie is messing with us, never letting us rest or settle, throwing more things in the scene to drum up tension and frustration as Damon starts to get away. I really like the shot where DiCaprio sees Damon from this shingling decoration thing. It's like they could have done anything. They could have had him suddenly spot the guy with the cap from a distance, but they go out of their way to choose a visually pleasing, more difficult to shoot, more creative way of him spotting the guy. And again, immediately, it's like Scorsese sat there thinking, how can we make this scene, which is essentially two characters walking down an alleyway, how can we make it better? I know. Let's use a Dutch angle at the wall and follow their shadows, with us unable to tell how close DiCaprio is. Clearly he is close, until another frustrating interlude, with the phone call, and now the drama has been upped as the rat knows he's been sniffed out. The large projected shadows call to mind a similar chase through Vienna in the classic noir The Third Man, a suitable homage as of course The Departed very much models itself as a pulp neo-noir. There's another more in-your-face The Third Man reference towards the end of the film where Damon waits for Madeline to come to speak with him, but she walks past with wordless contempt. You know, the editing in this scene is so sharp and quick, you don't really have time to process the visual effects on display to ramp up the tension, like the camera quickly zooming in to DiCaprio when he's about to be hit by the car. There's almost like a jump scare jolt this emits, what with him being covered in shadows and hiding while he's tailing the guy, and then all of a sudden being on display in the middle of the road, hit by the car's light beams. But anyway, did you notice that we get 3 quick cuts to DiCaprio looking out at where Damon is? And then there's just enough information on screen for us to process what's going on. Just enough time to see which wall DiCaprio's hiding behind, just enough time to see where Damon has gone, just enough time to register that Queenan has given the okay for the arrest to be made. The camera even quickly moves up as if to mimic the flipping of these old style flip phones being turned on. The stakes have changed again, what with DiCaprio having been given permission to make the arrest. He readjusts, but immediately another bright light in his face to frustrate him. More information on screen about the stakes being raised with this next shot. Not only is Damon aware, he's ready. Again, look at the creativity in what is really a throwaway shot in the movie. We've got the orange and teal contrasting light shot from a reflection emitting from a puddle and DiCaprio's frame coming into focus. There isn't a shot held longer in this scene than when Damon waits, footsteps approaching, no music, we wait, and then bang! He's killed him! But instantaneously we see he's got the wrong man. I really love this shot where Damon walks out of the alley and the camera seemingly aimlessly just wanders upwards until it becomes apparent that it's put the camera into shot, the CCTV camera. Damon in full view, his cover potentially blown. And then we see footage of DiCaprio trying to continue the chase through the point of view of the camera. But then it's revealed that this is actually Damon watching the footage back. It's a wonderful scene transition, so smooth onto the next scene, and it cuts out all the fat in between. We don't need to see Damon losing DiCaprio, him driving to the office, setting up his desk. It just goes from the chase to Damon studying DiCaprio's image, and it's sublimely done. There's another transition from a Scorsese movie of this period that this reminds me of, and I always love this one. It's from Gangs of New York, where a guy who's with the natives is caught praying in a dead rabbit's church, and he goes irate when he sees a black man in the church. He complains to the priest, and the priest bangs him on the head with something, and that thunk is merged with the thumping soundtrack of the next scene. The camera whips as the guy gets banged, and it's hilariously cut to him with a band-aid on his head, and the next shot gives us more information that he's part of a group that's going to attack the church. Again, such a smooth transition, no fat, no need to see him running out of the church and going to the butcher. It just goes from one scene to the next effortlessly. We know exactly what's happening between the two scenes. So there you have it. I just wanted to talk about this scene a bit that I thought was really well done. What do you make of this chase? Let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.